Hi gorgeous girlies, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a Dfyne review of their new Vision collection, which is already live and available to shop down below. Drop new colors and some new items, so I wanted to snag to review. Always, code Bailey will save you 10% off and help support me and helps me keep these reviews coming. Again, just a little PSA I always like to do. I am an affiliate, not an athlete, so that is why my reviews come after launch. I unfortunately am not allowed to be sent the items pre-launch. I wish I was. Also given very little launch info. I kind of have to wait to see what the athletes are posting to know what's coming. So again, I do apologize for that. That is why this review is going up late. So again, if you do use my code, even though again I can't review before it drops, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. That support means so much and really does help me continue to put out these reviews. And again, it counts as an entry to my monthly giveaway. I've been doing them for years as a way to say thank you for all the support and just to show how grateful I am for you guys. Let's get into this quick little review. So we have new Vision colors. We have Patrol Blue, Willow, Fig, Lotus dropping. Insert color comparisons right here. We also have new items. So we have the new Vision flares, which are gonna be $72.50, but again, 10% off with code Bailey. Then we have the Vision Twist Front Sports Bra, which is new, and this will be $42.50. Then we have the old Vision bra returning, going to be $42.50, same pricing. And then we have a new long line dropping, the Vision Twist Front long line top. This is $55. We have the Vision shorts returning in 4.5 inseam, $52.50. It didn't snag because you guys know I'm a 6.5 gal. Then we have the Vision leggings returning in $62.50. Those are the items coming. I'm gonna jump right into the main item you guys probably wanna know about, which are the Vision flares. They're coming in Patrol Blue, Willow, Fig, Lotus, Carbon, Midnight Black, and Umber. Extra small through extra large, short, regular, and tall. So Vision is a little different from Impact. The fabrics are a little different. They're quite similar, but there are some differences. So Vision is 94% nylon, 10% elastane, as Impact is 90% nylon, 10% elastane. Definitely has less lift. It's a little bit stretchier and softer. Still has a slickness to it, still seamless, and still that similar seamless and like ribbing design and texture to Impact. The main difference is this one is a little bit softer and much stretchier, so you're not gonna get Impact level lift in this. It is a little bit better though than, I would say, Dynamic. The lift is nowhere near as lifting as Impact. It's still mid to low rise like Impact, so I do love that. Dfyne's rises are based more so off of a short torso gal. So when they say mid-rise, it is going to be a true mid-rise for a short torso gal. Might be low rise on a longer torso gal, whereas say for Honor or ALPHALETE, their rises are based on a long torso gal. So if it's mid-rise, it's probably gonna be high rise on a short torso gal. I prefer the rising size of Dfyne's much better than ALPHALETE's or Honor's because it's a true mid-rise on me. So I love this waistband. I like this waistband more than Impact. I wish Impact had this waistband. So it's just a vertical ribbed waistband, but it crosses. It's got a non-sewn together cross waist, and it is higher in the back and the hips. So I love that when I bend and squat, I don't have to stress my underwear showing, whereas sometimes with Impact, I do, and I'm constantly pulling them up. So I like that it is higher in the back, and I love a cross waist. I know some people don't love that. I am team cross waist. I just think it really brings in my waist, makes it look smaller, and is just so flattering. So I love this waistband. There is no front seam, however, for some reason, well, not, I know what the reason is, but in the flares versus the Vision leggings, I'm getting some crotch tension, And I think it's because of the gusset. It is a different gusset in the flares versus the leggings. And I don't like this gusset looks-wise or functionality-wise because, again, I normally never get camel toe while I'm not getting a middle line. It is quite uncomfortable right in the crotch because of this gusset. I mean, I've got plenty of crotch room. The gusset comes too far forward. And it's like this different design where it's like the two lines and then has this seam right here, which one is so ugly. Like, I really don't like the look of it. And the fact that it's a darker seam and stitching is more obvious about the crotch area, whereas you don't have that in the leggings. Something about the gusset sitting forward in this design is just creating crotch tension that I do not get in the leggings. So I'm not loving that. And if you are camel toe prone, just beware. But I do love the waistband and I love the glute seam. I feel like it's much more short glute friendly than previous Vision leggings and a lot of other flares on the market. Like, in terms of flares on the market, these are very, very flattering. A lot of flares, like for example, like I love my Buff Bunny Aggressive Scrunch old fit, but the new fit is higher up. Like the tie-dye ones we dropped, they were like, that V-seam was up my back. The rise was ultra high rise. So these beat Buff Bunny Aggressive Scrunch flares, but obviously these are different fabrics. This is seamless. Buff Bunny was cut and sew, but it's much more short glute friendly. It's much more short glute friendly than Honor's flares, but again, this is seamless, not cut and sew. It's more flattering in my opinion than ALPHALETE's and Buff Bunny's seamless flares. More short glute friendly, more flattering. I like this scrunch better. Even though it's got very low lift, it does have a little bit more something than Buff Bunny's and ALPHALETE's. So in terms of seamless flares that I've tried, I'm still waiting on my Thriving to come. We'll update you guys with a review on that. In terms of the seamless flares I have tried to date, which are the Buff Bunny and the ALPHALETE Amplify, these win. These also beat the Hannah Pearson ones for me, but those are again cut and sew. These beat the Origin, but again, those are cut and sew. But these are the best seamless flares I've tried so far. Now again, they do not beat Impact in terms of lift, so they don't beat Impact for me. They don't have that same lift. However, for flares on the market, they win. I think they're the most flattering seamless flares, most short glute friendly flares that I have tried. Yeah, I prefer these over the ALPHALETE Amplify ones 100%. I love a V-seam and I love a short V-seam. ALPHALETE's does not have a V-seam, so I don't feel like my top glutes look as perky as when a bottom does have a V-seam. And again, it's got the same Vision scrunch, which is a very unique no scrunch style. So it kind of goes into the Impact scrunch at the top and bottom, but then goes into just nothing, like fabric, but still gives crazy glute separation. And it's a little bit more low key in terms of like if you can't pull something in the cheeks or it just sits out, but it has a scrunch, or if the scrunch is too long, it is much more obvious than this style. So I love this scrunch. I love the technology of it. I think it's very flattering. V-seam hits right at the top, so my top glutes look perky. I feel like the V-seam again hits compared to like my last Vision leggings, the V-seam hit a little bit higher than I like, and I feel like this hits a little bit lower, so I like this much better. However, again, the under glute lift is baby level, like infant level lift. So nowhere near as lifting as Dfyne Impact. Very similar to the Vision leggings from last drop. So for that, like I do wish I could size down, but there is no extra small. With how stretchy this is, I feel like they need to start offering extra small in these, because they offer it in some of the bottoms, but Vision is so stretchy. I feel like they need to increase their size range on this line. Honestly, Impact too. All lines, but I really wish I could have done extra small in these to give me more lift. A lot of my Discord girls size down in this, but again, I don't have the option to size down. So that is why I'm so shocked that some people were literally advising to size up, and I don't agree with that at all. You size up, it's going to give zero lift because there's barely any lift in my true size. So I'm gonna say if you want Impact level lift, you need to size down or stay true to size. I would not recommend sizing up personally, unless you want zero lift and maybe want it to hit higher rise and don't mind if there's no lift, you could. But I feel like most people want that lift effect that I would stay true to size or size down. If I had the option to size down, I 100% would have taken it because I just don't feel like I'm getting lift. It's still flattering though, still short glute friendly, but to me, it's like a normal seamless flare with no lift, but it is short glute friendly. So again, it's still my favorite seamless flare on the market. I just am patiently waiting for impact flares because I really do want that tight lift like impact, and I'm just not getting it in these. And the flare is very minimal. Like, it's not like a Buff Bunny bell sleeve. Like, their flares are wide. And I would definitely say this comes in a little bit more than even ALPHALETE Amplify flares, so not as flaring as those. So if you like something that isn't as aggressive as that, you might really like these. It's a pretty thick seamless fabric, so I do really like that. Glute pocket area again does go into a little bit of a stretchier fabric like impact, but I still feel like nude thong, no tattoos, you'll be fine. You might slightly see it in the brighter colors if you do have a glute tattoo, but the darker colors I personally would not stress. Did tall and regular to compare. My tall is 35 extra small, and then my extra small regular is 31. I personally prefer the tall. I'm 5'4", but I like my flares to hit the floor, and I don't like this is the extra small. To be fair, the extra small regular is probably where most people like their flares to hit, because with sneakers on, like, it comes up a little, like, it doesn't drag the ground, but I like it to hit the ground, which is probably not how most people prefer their flares, but I just don't like the look of the extra small personally. Again, if you do size down, I would accommodate that and do a taller length option if you size down. I prefer the tall as a 5'4" girly that likes a longer inseam, but I'm glad we did get multiple this time. I believe there is 3. There's a short, a regular, and a tall. I didn't get short, so I'm unsure. If I can find a chart, again, I don't get sent that info, and sometimes it's not posted on their website, but if I can find a size chart, I will pop it up here for the inseams. So then I got Willow in extra small regular to compare. Measurements are the same, fit is the same, feels the same tightness. Like, there's no difference in my Willow and my Lotus. They feel the same tightness, which is very similar to how Last Vision leggings fit. Very stretchy, very little lift. Again, still mid to low rise. I'm surprised I got this. I don't really gravitate to greens like this, being completely honest, so I don't know how often I'm gonna wear it. But they were selling out and I started getting nervous, and so I was like, oh, let me snag. So I got the green. Here's the dynamic green. I think this is deep olive. I just don't really wear dark greens like this often. So I wanted to get at least one of every color to be able to review. But we'll try these on, do side-by-side sticker test, and show you guys the length difference. Overall, I would recommend the flares, but don't expect them to be impact level lift personally, unless you size down they might be. I would recommend, if you want impact level lift, to size down. If you don't want impact level lift and liked the lift level of previous Vision leggings, stay to that same size. I'm 5'4" and I preferred the tall inseam, but I do like a longer length. Again, low to mid rise. These are definitely short glute friendly. They're probably the most flattering seamless flares I've tried to date. So for that, I would buy more. I just like bright colors, and there weren't enough brights for me to go back and get more. Here are the extra small tall Vision flares. So again, on me, a short torso girl, they are true mid-rise. If you have a longer torso, they might be more low-rise. Dfyne is like one of the main brands that actually has a true mid-rise. A short torso gal. A lot of brands base their like rises off of long torso gals. So I really love Dfyne's rises. Ribbed cross waist. I would say lower tummy control. Like, it's definitely not super tight, but it's not loose. And again, higher up on the hips, comes to a cross, brings the stomach in. I love a cross waist. If you don't like a cross waist, you might not like these then. No front seam, but I do feel a lot of tension in the crotch area, and it's a different gusset. I'm not obsessed with this seam right here. Like, I don't like the look of that at all, and it's a darker stitching, so it's very obvious. And this gusset could be why I'm having that crotch tension, because it's hitting higher up, like more forward than I feel like it should. So, and I normally don't get crotch tension, but I am getting it in these. And I feel like it's more noticeable in these than the leggings, because this, I swear the leggings, old leggings did not have this stitch. Claim to have lift, but I feel no lift. while it is like, it's tight in the thigh area, it's still really stretchy, but it's still not as lifting as Dfyne Impact. And there's no lift right here, right under the glutes where it needs to be to actually lift. So again, I don't understand why they didn't give us impact flares first. Like, why aren't they branching out in their best-selling collection versus trying these styles in their like collections that aren't their best selling? I hope we get impact flares soon because I actually want lift, and I'm really not getting that in this. This is an extra small. I can't size down to extra small. They don't offer that. I think had I been able to size down, I would have liked these more. I would have gotten more impact like lift. So if you want impact level lift and you can size down, like they have that option, I would definitely recommend that. I know a lot of my Discord girlies did that. Still like these. They are still a very flattering flare on the market, but there is, well, at least for me, in my true size, very little lift happening. It's not impact level lift, too stretchy right under the glutes. However, in turn, like there's really no glute lifting flares on the market, well, besides Thriving, but I haven't tried those yet, on the market. So comparing this to the other flares I've tried on the market, these are still insanely flattering and short glute friendly. So they have a scrunch, no scrunch technology. So you get glute separation, and the V-seam, it hits right at the top of the glutes, doesn't go way past, so still gives really good glute separation, still short glute friendly. Flattering, there's still a very flattering flare on the market. They're more short glute friendly than Honors flares, but again, these are a seamless fabric. I actually like these better than Amplify flares, for sure. I think they're more flattering than Amplify flares. In terms of other seamless flares, they're more flattering than the Buff Bunny seamless flares. So for that, I still think they win when you compare it to what's on the market, but comparing it to Impact, they don't win. So again, these are flares. These are definitely a more like fitted flare. Compared to some on the market, like some are almost like borderline bell flares and flare out a lot, so I don't mind it, but I do think I honestly prefer a flare that is more dramatic. But I still like these. I did tall, and this is how it looks like on with, well, obviously slippers. This is how the inseam I like. This is the inseam I like. I like it to be dragging the floor, to be honest. I feel like regular, especially Dfyne regular, like I just hate when a flare, even though this is how it's probably supposed to look, I don't like that. I want it like slouchy. I'm 5'4" for reference. I definitely think if 5'4" and up, you could do tall. Obviously, like it's very long out of shoe, but this is how I like my flares personally. So if you don't like it like that and you're 5'4", you could do the regular. I love Lotus. I did Willow regular, so we'll do side by sides of that. Love the waist though. Like I think this waist is a more flattering and more comfortable than Impact. I wish Impact had this waistband, but I wish these, like I love the waistband, I just wish it had impact level lift. Sticker test. Not bad. I mean, obviously if you have a glute tattoo, you might see it right here, but for the most part, I mean, for it being a pink, this is the lightest shade. I personally wouldn't really stress this. And I think these are some of my favorite seamless flares on the market for sure. But again, they don't have impact level lift. Squat test. Ooh, my back. Here is the Willow extra small in regular. So this is probably how most people like their inseams, but I think this is too short, right? Like this to me is too short with shoes on. Like I feel like, I don't know. I think this is how most people wear their flares, but for me, I like it to me, which makes the bottom dirtier. I don't know. I don't know. I like them all the way to the ground. So I do prefer tall on me personally, like especially since when you walk and stuff, it kind of rides up a little bit. You want to pull it up a little bit and then you lose more length. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not high waters and regular. It fits the same. I don't feel like this color is any tighter or more lifting than the pink or any stretchier. Feels the same. Again, Vision is a very like slick, stretchy fabric, kind of like Impact, but a little bit softer and much stretchier than Impact. but it still has a slick feel to it. And again, still seamless. You've got the cross waist, but I do feel like this waist stays up a little bit better than the Impact one. It's higher up in the back, which I actually really like, because then like I feel like when I bend and squat, I don't have to keep pulling it up for my underwear not to show, whereas sometimes with the Impact waistband, it being quite low, I am constantly having to pull it up. It's gonna come down to preference, obviously. If you want something with maybe very, very, very minimal lift, you'll probably really like this. And again, it's got a really nice scrunch. No scrunch technology, so it's not like, it's much more low key than the Impact scrunch. And I think this design, while it looks weird flat lay, it looks great on. I don't really love this color as much because it's not as bright. I don't feel like my glutes pop as much. Then we have the Vision leggings, and I got these in the new Patrol Blue, which I feel like looked very different than like in certain photos, like a vibrant teal, but it's definitely a dark blue. Like it's very similar to ink in real life. Like ALPHALETE, Galactic Ocean, it's not. It's much darker, not as very, like I don't think there's any teal really in this. Maybe like the slightest bit. But I would have loved had it been this color over this one, as again, I don't really gravitate to darker colors, and even if it's super lifting, I don't feel like it makes the glutes look as good as like Lotus. But I did the same size, extra small, as old Vision, and the like measurement wise it's the same. The waistband compression level feels the same. I will say it is a little bit tighter, not by much, but tighter in the leg area, like the knee area, but not right under the glutes where it needs to be. So people were saying, like, again, as lifting as Impact, and I don't agree with that. And maybe if I had been able to size down, it could be, but there is no size down. So for me, Impact still wins, still is more lifting than these. But I will say, I do feel like the kneecap area, it's weird. The kneecap area is a little bit tighter than last Vision, but I still feel like it's giving the same lift effect. Measurement wise, it's not showing, but when on, it does feel slightly shorter. Like the glute seam feels slightly shorter than my previous Vision leggings, which I do prefer. It makes them a little bit more short glute friendly, because in my old Vision, I just felt like I was getting a little bit of excess fabric at the top of the glutes and it was hitting higher than I like, whereas these hit perfect. The scrunch is very flattering, doesn't go up my back, it is short glute friendly. Now they're still flattering and they still have some lift, but I just don't get that like bam. Maybe if it was a brighter color, I would have gotten that bam effect. But I still think Impact win for me. But I do love the waistband. Cross waist, same rise, low to mid rise, vertical ribbed. It's got medium tummy control. Like it's not for snatching like an ALPHALETE Amplify or a Buff Bunny Miracle. But I do feel like it's got a little bit more compression than Impact and stays up better than Impact. You've got the white Dfyne logo in the front and back as well. Same size, but the inseam is and I don't know if this is just a batch thing or they changed it, but the inseam is actually 1 inch longer than old Vision. This was 24, this is 25. So it does hit a little bit better, is longer than Impact went on. And again, you've got a different scrunch than Impact. All right, so here are the Vision leggings in Patrol. I did extra small. So it's like tight in the knee area compared to last launch, but everywhere else I feel like is still the same stretchiness. Love the waistband more than Impact though. Like I love how it hits higher up in the back and on my hips and then comes to a V, so it really does bring the waist in. Again, it's mid to low rise depending on your torso, and it is short glute friendly. I will say it is more short glute friendly than previous Vision. Like that one definitely hit a little bit higher up. I feel like this is definitely hitting more similar to Impact in terms of where the V-seam and glute pocket area hit. So a little bit more short glute friendly than previous Vision. I wish there were a few more brighter colors in the drop because I didn't want to get the flares in Lotus and leggings. I wish we would have had more brighter Vision legging options because I feel like it's hard to like tell because it's a darker color, so it hides the glutes a little bit more. The slicker, stretchy, seamless fabric, but a little bit softer and stretchier than Impact. I wouldn't stress sharing this in any of the darker colors. Overall, like I do feel like these are a little bit more flattering than previous Vision. Squat test. I'm gonna go into the tops. Vision Twist Front Sports Bra, which I'm currently wearing, which dropped in Troll Blue, Willow, Fig, Lotus, Carbon, Midnight Black, Umber, Dove, and Cobalt. So quite a few colors, more than the flares. Like, I wish we would have gotten Cobalt flares. I would have bought those. I am so sad we did not get this color in the flares. I would have much rather preferred that over Willow personally, or even Patrol. But yeah, I did extra small in this bra. I could definitely say if in between size up, because this like area, these seams are very snug. I don't mind it, but they are tight, and they are the thin elastic band like Dfyne, like last Vision bra. I don't like these straps. They're unsturdy, they dig in, and I feel like they could snap at any moment. I really wish they would do a more structured strap than this. But I do love the back design, so I got two. I got Fig and the Cobalt Blue, both extra small, because this back reminded me of ALPHALETE Vic bra, and I love that bra. This one's definitely much more comfortable on the back lat area than the ALPHALETE Vic bra. But the front is wide, which is why I could not size up for the straps. It's just too wide. Still work out in it. I'm still like, I'd still buy more. I just do wish that Dfyne had a little bit more, like all of their tops are always really wide and cater more to like a wide chest versus narrow. So I do wish it came in a little bit more. And I do feel like this is a little bit tighter than the long line extra small. So if in between, I would say size up. It's got, again, wider, so still a very high cleavage moment, but good side boob coverage. The bottom band is a little snug, so again, that's why I do feel like you could size up, but just know if you're narrow chested, it could become too wide. Straps are the thin straps. Dfyne logo on the side and the back. Same material and feel as the last Vision bra. I just didn't like this one because I didn't like the scrunch on the front. It didn't work in a bra, in my opinion. It does have more coverage though if you're wanting more coverage in a bra to match. This is, again, very booby. I just did not love the front design, and the back's just crossed in the back. It does have removable cups, seamless fabric. Love the back design, but I just wish the straps were a little bit more durable. All right, so here is the bra, extra small in Fig. Love this color. It's twist front, still again very wide. Fits a little bit tighter than I would say the long line, but I still wouldn't want to size up. I would not want to size up because then my nips literally would be out. I mean, I could still definitely work out in it. I just really wish Dfyne would do a little bit more narrow chest friendly options. Just because I hate feeling like when I'm working out, I have to be on nip alert. Got good side boob coverage, obviously because I'm narrow chested. Logo down here, twist front. I loved the back, so I wanted to snag, and I ended up getting two. I got this in Cobalt, an old color, just because I really did like this back. And I think this bra is much more flattering than the other Vision bra we got. I did not like it. So this is definitely more my vibe. If you like more coverage, you might like the other one. I just wasn't loving the Vision scrunch in the front. Like, I just felt like it looked a little weird, and I prefer the twist. Tops are definitely tight like the line, but I cannot size up because of the width. Still obviously lower support, lower coverage, but I think the cup size is bigger than the Impact bra, and I would get more. Like, I do really like this one, and I think for back day, like the back moment alone is super cute. Long line tanks, and I got a small and an extra small. So I did extra small in Lotus, and I do prefer the extra small. Now the straps are again more snug in my true size, but I get a lot less excess fabric in my true size than the size up. Like, it's still wide. It's still a little too wide for my liking, but it's less wide than the size up. So less likely to get a nip slip in my true size. Does have removable cups, no built-in shelf bra, just the seam down here. So still lower support, but it is hip bone length. I love where this length hits. It's not meet and greet, so it does come down to your hip bones depending on your torso. Obviously, if you have a longer torso, it might hit a little bit shorter than your hip bone. It's a very soft, stretchy, seamless fabric, like in the Vision glute pocket area. Not too tight, in the waist. I probably could have done extra small for the waist, but then everywhere else would have been too snug. But the back again looks like this. I really like the back design, but again, I just don't love these straps. If in between, I guess if you're larger up top and you don't mind some excess fabric right here, you could size up. However, I just didn't like my size small, as doing the size small gave excess fabric, wasn't snatching, and I just feel like when you get excess fabric right here, it kind of makes it look ill-fitting, in my opinion. Now, it did make the neck strap much more comfortable, but then it also made it too wide, so I just don't really prefer the small. Got it in the willow and the lotus. Length does not change when sizing up though, just keep that in mind. Length stays the same, which I actually like. I hate when I need to like size down for something, it becomes too short. I love that the sizes remain the same length. All right, so here is the top. I did extra small and I'm very glad I did, especially if you're smaller up top and narrow chested. I just feel like the small is way too wide. And I mean, even the extra small is very wide. Like I have to keep making sure my nipple is not out. Like all of their V fronts come out way too far. So for that, I always have to go with a smaller size. Now the straps are definitely a little bit tighter. They are tight to where I'm like, I probably could do small, but then everywhere else would be too wide, too loose. So for that, I personally am happy I did extra small and didn't size up. This is very flattering on the neckline. Cross front, removable cups, and I don't like the straps. I think that is the main thing. It's the same Vision straps as the other Vision bra. It's that thin, flat elastic that just does not feel durable. Like I feel like it's going to snap. So I'm not loving the quality of the straps personally. Really hope they change the strap because I just feel like this would snap at any moment. I still feel like I could work out in this, but I definitely think it's more for like lifestyle. I love this color. I'm very glad I got this pink. It was really the only one that was, again, I'm a brights girl, so it was the only one that was really calling my name. I think it is stunning in person. It is such a beautiful pink. It kind of looks like Blossom. No built-in shelf bra, but the little seam down here still lower support, and it does hit at hip bone, but obviously seamless fabric, so it kind of slides. But I love the length on it, definitely longer than meet and greet, which I appreciate. And then the back is very cute. I do love it. It kind of reminds me of like ALPHALETE's Vic bra, kind of like that same like style, which I do really like. But again, I just don't like the straps. I think it shapes very well in my true size. Now, I wouldn't size down because of the strap area. I want to for this area and like the waist, but the straps would be way too tight that they would definitely break. Here's the small top. So as you can see, you're just getting like a little bit of excess fabric. Like if there's more bunching in the waist, which I don't love. It's really wide. The straps do fit a little bit better though for the extra small, because this is something that always irritates me. I just feel like it cheapens the look and almost looks ill-fitting. So I just don't love that look. So I prefer my true size in this versus my size up. But obviously, if you don't mind this and you want the straps to be less snug, then I do think you'd prefer your size up, especially if you have a wider chest. But I do wish they would bring this in a little bit and loosen the straps. But overall, I still really like this top. This is definitely, I think, one of my favorite long lines they've done. I think the length is so nice. Some of their other long line tops are more like meet and greet. I just love the length of this. And with the flares, I just think it's such a cute matching set. The back again has the Vic bra-like design, which I really like. And I can stretch it out a little bit more in the size up, which I do like. I love this style back. Again, because it's that thin elastic, do dig in. I do think it fits better back there than the ALPHALETE Vic bra. To be honest, like this one is a little bit more comfortable than the Vic bra. There were no shrugs this drop, which was absolutely gutting because the Vision shrugs are the best bolero shrugs I own, and I would buy them in every single color. I mean, I did last drop and I really wanted them this drop. So that was like the main thing I was so disappointed about, because their Vision boleros are so flattering. I love the cut. It's almost like off shoulder vibe, and it's a seamless fabric and it stays put. It has thumb hole, like genuinely the best boleros I own, and I'm so sad we don't have more colors. That is all for this quick little Vision review. I hope this was helpful, and I will have the link to shop down below. These are already available to shop. And again, don't forget code Bailey, save you 10% off. Help support me keep these reviews coming and counts as an entry to my monthly giveaway. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.